Tension was high in the Galactic Council's Great Hall, where representatives from 12 different species were seated at the enormous round table, their different shapes casting odd shadows in the blue-white lights at the heart of their. Ambassador Vex of the Altari said that humanity was the most recent and contentious addition to their long-standing relationship. Remarked while leaning forward, his silver skin sparkling. Humans have served on our council. They want economic agreements, military cooperation, and equal voting rights after just 6 months. Relationships. He took a moment to process what he had said. Counselor Thou, who represents the insectoid crash, forgot their place. His mandibles clicked in agreement, saying, Earth scores are nothing special in their world. The majority of our home worlds are either Class 3 or only Class 7 on the habitability scale. For despite coming from a gentle, easy world, these beings behave as though they belong. The argument had been going on for hours among the various civilizations. Some suggested assigning them modest positions in galactic affairs, while others preferred to just disregard humanity's concerns. But Vex came up with an alternative that would address their human issue. Vex remarked in a cool, smooth voice, permanently proposed that we give them exactly what they want. Let them demonstrate their belongingness to us on Korath Prime. Even the translators appeared to pause before translating his words into the different foreign languages Korath Prime all of the galaxy's creatures were aware of. It had a Class 15 Deathworld rating, which is the highest possible rating on the danger scale. Over the past century, several alien expeditions have attempted to build colonies there, but none have survived longer than a week. The proud Zafrans had left after the Vrex had lost 200 colonists in 4 days. Only automated distress flags for 2 days, even the robust silicon-based Rocklings gave up after losing half of their mission to the unfeasible conditions on the planet. You can't be. Elder Nera said gravely, the storms alone can strip that world of its peaceful symphonies that have killed thousands. Flesh from bone. Most of our people would be crushed by gravity, and the air itself is poisonous. Vex grinned icily, keeping his dark eyes from meeting the human eye. Believe that since they have survived a few little conflicts on their small world, they are tough and deserving of respect. Let them take on a genuine task, Counselor Bricks of the Aquatic Tide, since they were able to reach space. What if they really succeed? What if they establish a colony? Walkers asked anxiously. Is that impossible? Vex said firmly. Even our best predictions, based on our calculations, are less than 2%. Chance of survival after the first week. The people will either die soon or take their pride and run home. Shattered in any case, they will discover their rightful position in the cosmos. The vote was more close than Vex had anticipated, but it passed with 7 species voting yes, 4 voting no, and 1 abstaining. Humans would be given the chance to settle on Korath Prime as a colony. Offered 3 weeks later as an opportunity to demonstrate their value to the galactic community, Captain Reed stood on the reading the official mission briefing again on the colony ship's bridge. His crew worked around him, silently getting ready for what the Galactic Council had dubbed the greatest opportunity for humanity. Reed was a steady-handed, pragmatic man in his 40s with graying hair. Before enlisting in the colonial service, he spent 20 years in Earth's merchant navy, where he seen hazardous planets. Captain called Navigator Hayes from her station, but it wasn't anything like what the briefing said. We're obtaining the Council's final data package for the surface maps of atmospheric composition and environmental readings. In any case, Reed nodded and showed the fundamentals on the main screen. A number of crew members took sharp gasps when the information on the bridge's huge display came to life. With almost twice the gravity of Earth, Prime was larger. Its atmosphere was breathable but dense with industrial contaminants, with surface temps ranging from freezing to boiling that would erode most metals in a few days. Depending on the abrupt changes in the weather, the globe went through seismic activity that frequently changed the landscape, acid rain, and lightning storms that may persist for weeks. Dr. Stone, the expedition's lead scientist, was asked about fauna. She was a petite woman. Hayes displayed additional info with interested eyes that appeared more thrilled than anxious about their destination. It is not covered by the file, hostile. Carnivorous plants that actively hunt. Prey elephant-sized pack hunters and flying, caustic animals. Breath, and that's just what earlier missions were able to record for her. Chief Engineer Mills didn't finish the sentence before they all passed away. Dryly Mills, a large man with rough hands, had been constructing towns on frontier worlds for years. Reed spent a considerable amount of time studying the data, so at least we know what we're getting into. Though he couldn't pinpoint it, there was something about this entire endeavor that disturbed him. The Galactic Council had been incredibly kind with this chance, especially considering how they'd handled humanity's previous pleas. Reed observed that the equipment was mostly older types, but it was still dependable. They even supplied a ship and basic supplies. Most recent technologies, according to Communications Officer Lang, Sir. Using long-range sensors, I'm able to detect the Council observation ship. They're keeping their distance while tracking our course observation ship. Reed scowled. The briefing didn't mention it, Dr. Perhaps they wished to record humanity's initial attempt to colonize a planet, Stone thought as she looked up from her scientific instruments. Mills muttered, Class 15 world for historical records, or perhaps they wished to. Did anyone else see us fail? They provided us with precisely enough supplies for 6 months, not a year or 2 years and 6 months. Reed had observed the same thing by then, as if they were expecting us to quit up. The more he considered it, the more this felt more like a test or, worse, a trap than an opportunity. But 500. Regardless of the Council's true intentions, the human colonists relied on him to transport them securely to their new home. Hayes said, 18 hours, sir, in response to the question, how long until we reach Korath Prime? The good individuals who had volunteered for this, Reed said, looking around at his group. Despite the mission's evident risks, 500 additional people who had left Earth were behind them in the ship's hallways. Families with children, young couples, and those who have left for a new life. Elderly people seeking a final frontier scientist in search of adventure. They had all read the briefings and were keen to learn about an uncharted world and engineers prepared to create something from nothing. Despite knowing the hazards, they all came since that's what people do when they encounter the impossibility. Refused to give up, they managed to make it work. All right people, Reed said. We have 18 hours to complete our landing, he stated in a steady, calm voice. Arrangements. Dr. Stone would need a thorough examination of those environmental readings. Hayes, Mills double-checks all of our equipment and ensures that we have contingency plans in case something breaks down. Plan us the most secure landing technique. As his team began working, Reed took a final glance at the information.